Get off your iPad, and you can't miss it. It's blue and white. No, I'm not yelling at the audience. That is what an air traffic controller had to say in order to avoid a near-miss collision between Air Force One carrying Melania and Donald Trump and a Spirit Air jet moving from Fort Lauderdale to Boston. Their flight paths intersected over Long Island as Air Force One was going across the pond from New York to the UK. And now we've got the receipts, we've got the audio of the air traffic controller, but this proves the point. You have an administration that doesn't care about air safety, that has effectively defunded the FAA, that has defunded and tried to take over the National Safety Transportation Board, also responsible for flight safety. They had Elon Musk rummaging around in the technology around air safety and air safety control, and then never did a darn thing about it, effectively defunding it. They haven't hired more air traffic controllers. They haven't made the skies safer. You've got pilots who are already saying they will not fly into Newark, New Jersey as part of the New York airspace because of the dangers created by the Trump administration running air safety. And the transportation secretary is to blame for this as well. Let's remember, this is the administration that just 8 or 9 days in had that tragic mishap of a Black Hawk Army helicopter ramming into an American Airlines plane, killing everyone on board, including one of my clients. I'm Michael Popok. You're here on the MeidasTouch Network. And let's get to what just happened and what it means, not just for Trump and Melania, but for everybody. So here's what happened first. It appears that as the Spirit airplane was moving from Fort Lauderdale to Boston, an Airbus, it got into the Long Island airspace around New York, which is part of the New York metropolitan region, and looked like, according to an air traffic controller, looked like it was on a similar flight path, similar altitude and vector as Air Force One. So now you've got a panicked, I'm going to show you here on the split screen, you'll see the imagery of the planes and where they were located. Now you've got the controller who's getting more and more annoyed because he can't get Spirit Air to acknowledge that they need to change their flight path in order to avoid Air Force One. So bad that that's where we get the get off your iPad moment. Let's play the clip.
Pay attention. Delta 2951, Boston Center, 134.0. Spirit 1300, traffic's off your left wing by 8 miles, 747. I'm sure you can see who it is. It's flight level 320, maintain 330. I'll keep an eye out for him. He's white and blue. Spirit 1300, Boston Center, 134.0. I got to talk to you twice every time. Spirit 1300, Boston 134.0. Pay attention. Get off the iPad.
Now, this is for the President of the United States. Now, let's not let him off the hook. Since he's been in office, he's gone after the National Safety Transportation Board, an independent bipartisan board. Donald Trump hates independent bipartisan boards that are responsible for flight safety and for accident reconstruction should something happen. They're the black box people. And Donald Trump wanted to put all of his lackeys and cronies in those positions and destroy their independence. At the same time, even though he presided over one of the worst tragedies over the Potomac and in the killing of everybody aboard that American Airlines flight, including the flight crew, one of which, as you know, I represent, and the family of that flight crew, even though he presided over that in the first few days, he hasn't done a darn thing to fix flight safety, even though he himself had that tragedy right in Washington over the Potomac and in the Potomac. Where are the tens of thousands of air traffic controllers that need to be hired? Where is the new equipment? Where is the new technology? Remember all that talk about Elon Musk was going to modernize and completely he's gone. Elon Musk is back trying to make $1 trillion running Tesla into the ground and blowing up rocket ships. He's not handling that any longer, if you've noticed. So that because Donald Trump is distracted, because he's distracted with trying to make as much money as possible for himself and his family, and everything's about a deal. He's not focused on the things he's supposed to be focused on, which is national security and public safety, because his attention is diverted. He's worried about what Cracker Barrel's new logo looks like, and Taylor Swift, and holding vigils for Charlie Kirk and trying to figure out how he's going to make money in the crypto business and the AI chip business and put all that together to benefit its friends and family. That's what he's worried about, and going after newspapers like the New York Times on phony lawsuits in order to grab the news cycle. Why don't you do your job? Why don't you make our skies safer? Instead of trying to get rid of the passenger Bill of Rights, why don't you bolster it? Why don't you make flying in America a dream again instead of a nightmare? A nightmare that you and your wife almost experienced firsthand. If it wasn't for that, can you imagine, just think what would have happened had that controller, and I'm sure that wasn't the only plane he was monitoring in New York airspace at that moment, had been momentarily distracted at just the wrong moment. That's the moment he grabbed a cup of coffee or he looked at another flight or whatever it was. How about that? How about he did all that? And now we've got a Spirit airplane crashing into Air Force One over some farm or mansion in Long Island. Is that what's supposed to happen? So we're going to continue to follow it. What is Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, who's married to a Fox News anchor, what is he going to do about it? So far, nothing. So far, absolutely nothing. This is not something even the White House even talked about. Didn't even brief the American people on this particular issue. And that's a crime as well. I mean, I'm hot and bothered here on this particular issue because flight safety means something. For those of us that have to get on planes, we worry about our safety every day. And the fact that an air traffic controller had to yell out, "Hey, do you see the big blue and white plane? Try not to hit it," does not make me feel any better and shouldn't make you feel any better either. If I were the president of the United States, after I presided over that tragedy over the Potomac, I would be doing a lot of things in addition to making sure those families get what they are entitled to as part of justice. That should be done. But I would be revamping. I would be commissioning a blue ribbon panel. That we would already have the recommendations. They'd already be implementing them. They'd already be hiring the people necessary to make our skies safer. When the report came out that nobody wants to fly into Newark, New Jersey, not because it's Newark, New Jersey, I'm from New Jersey, but because of air safety issues, including pilots, that should have been another wake-up call. We have to do something to fix metropolitan areas like Washington and New York. I know they're blue, but they're also where commerce is operated from and politics is operated from. And he should take it more seriously. Lord knows what they told him up in the plane about it. They probably didn't even tell him. He's out of it anyway. He's so busy about, is my tux going to fit when I meet the king and queen? You almost didn't get out of Long Island. And that's the point. I'll continue to follow it all right here on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. Come over to Legal AF, the YouTube channel, and Legal AF, the Substack. That's the way to support the kind of work that I do. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.